Hi guys. So my name is Esther, and for a large part of my life, I've struggled a lot actually with health issues. Used to be a bit more minor and progressively got worse and worse. And this video is going to just be me raising some awareness basically, and I'm going to be talking a bit about the medical system and some of the things I've learned this year, because this has been one of the hardest years of my life, if I'm being completely honest. And anyone else out there who has a chronic illness will know what I'm talking about. You will immediately understand. I'm going to try and give just some information, some facts about what it feels like to be chronically ill, to not really get help for long periods of time, and just kind of the common struggles that so many people are going through. So just to shed some light on this whole topic. So for my personal experience, kind of my story is that, you know, when I was younger, I had a lot of health issues. You know, I went to see various doctors. I had a deep fear of doctors, if I'm being completely honest. So a lot of it was because I was too afraid to actually get help. And it took me a long time to actually finally realize that I needed help. The problem is when I realized that, and when I started actually seeking it more, I wasn't helped really that much at all. And honestly, some of the things that I've learned about a lot of the ways that different conditions are treated is just so, like, you will know what I'm talking about if you have been in this situation and you have tried to see specialists, just different doctors, and you're praying that they're going to help you because that's what they're supposed to do, right? And unfortunately, it's just not the case for so many of us, especially when it comes to chronic illnesses. Oftentimes it's an autoimmune disease. There's so many different things that could be going on. And unfortunately, most doctors just don't know to look for this stuff. And it can get really discouraging. I don't think discouraging even really explains the feeling well enough. Just to kind of put things into perspective with what it's like to live with something that is debilitating. I think a lot of times people have a lot of misconceptions about what chronic illness is. Even things like chronic fatigue. It's a bit misleading when you hear that, because you're thinking, oh, it means you're tired all the time. It's not what it is at all. Let me try to paint a picture for you. Imagine you get a horrible flu, and instead of getting better, you never fully heal, and you are experiencing flare-ups of what feels like flu-like symptoms, sometimes on the daily, could be every month, could be every couple weeks, doesn't really matter. The point is, it's something that just keeps coming back. It never goes away. And you are so sleep deprived because you're in chronic pain, because you're having debilitating symptoms that keep you up at night, and you have to give so many things up. There's things that you just can't do anymore because you are literally so exhausted because your body is in survival mode. That's more what it's like. It's not, oh, just take a nap and then you'll be better. It doesn't help. I'm sorry. Also, it's not gonna help if I work out harder, because if I work out harder, chances are I will be sicker than normal on a night and possibly be flaring up for an entire week. I won't feel better working out. However, I wait for days when I have more energy, when I feel like I want to use this energy for something I really love, and if that happens to be doing something active, I do it, and it's worth it to me. But it's not something, it's never something, you don't want to take these things for granted, basically, because it's not guaranteed that everyone's body is going to be able to bounce back. For some people, it's just not the case. Some people get really sick. And unfortunately, a lot of doctors, again, going back to the whole, there's so much gaslighting going on. There's invalidation for people's horrible symptoms. I want you to know you are not crazy. You are not alone. You know your body better than these professionals think that they do. I literally had an appointment where the doctor barely touched me. She stood like, I don't know, like across the room from me. She barely actually interacted with me. I could just tell she couldn't care less about me as a person and my health. And that was heartbreaking. And no one should have to go through that. And the thing is, if you're someone who struggles with already feeling like you're making things up, your imposter syndrome is going to get horrible, and you're going to start, words, they do play a huge part into how we feel about ourselves. But yeah, it's hard to talk about this, actually. It's a difficult thing. I want to shed light on the fact that there's this whole world out there of people who are chronically suffering. And if that's not bad enough, they're not really getting help. And the state that I live in, our mental health system, in so many ways, is really a piece of shit. It's so bad. I've had to watch this, growing up. I've seen what the psych ward is like. I've seen how these things are handled. It's horrific. No one is really getting help because we don't know enough about our brains. We don't know enough about what's actually going on in our bodies. And I'm very thankful that I feel like a lot of that is starting to change. I just feel like I want to be another voice out there really advocating for these people. I mean, including myself, but because I've seen what's been going on, and because I know that doctors can be, they're not even doctors at this point in so many ways, because they're not helping people. There are good ones out there, but they're really hard to find. And I want to try and continue raising awareness for these things, because I think it's so important. I've seen what it's like. I can't ignore it. It's not something I can push under the rug. It's not something that I can, it's always on my mind all the time, especially because, I've been living through it. It's changed my life. I'm not the same person I used to be. Yeah, but it's really hard when you're young and you're struggling with these things. And I think, a lot of times doctors might look at younger people and, blame it on things that are not the person's fault. And yeah, we're very dismissed a lot of the time. And it's wrong. It's really wrong. It needs to change. And I won't shut up about it. I really won't. I'm gonna talk about it. More and more. I talk about this stuff all the time. And yeah. I don't really know what else I was gonna really say other than it's really hard to live with symptoms that are really beating you down. And yeah, I kind of want to make like a series of different videos about health related stuff and being chronically ill, because it's become a big passion of mine. So yeah, talk to you later.